Welcome back to the ABCs of Did I Get What I Paid For? This episode is where the series really takes off. We're covering I through L. That's 4 letters, baby! This episode is special because it covers a wide variety of topics. And when I say wide variety, I mean it gets crazy. And not just because I'm using props. I was decisive as hell in my letter pick this time, so we don't have any letters with more than one entry.
I is for Image Entertainment Enterprises.
Not to be confused with Image Comics, the makers of Spawn, this company now goes by RLJE Films. But when you're digging through DVDs at dollar stores, used book places, friends of a library sale, and antique shops, there are plenty of their old Image products out there. Their name change might have something to do with Image Comics breaking into other media. On the other hand, Image Entertainment Enterprises had a rather distinct reputation, so they might not have wanted to hold on to their name. On the one hand, their release of The Twilight Zone was amazeballs. They have episode commentaries, interviews with actors who were still alive as recently as 2001, and they include the Twilight Zone radio show produced by NPR. Just a metric ton of bonus features. These sets are better than the ones that CBS and Paramount put out on their own. But for every Twilight Zone, there are about 50 budget titles that were better off forgotten. My copy of Bela Lugosi Meets a Brooklyn Gorilla? Image Entertainment. That collection of Fleischer Brothers Superman cartoons and the bootleg Superman soundtrack I reviewed? I can't prove they made it, but they at least distributed it. This bootleg King Kong radio show? Yeah, Image Entertainment. The more readily available versions of Rene Cordova's Santa Claus vs. the Devil? They had a hand in that too. So as happy as I am to say I have the good versions of the first 3 seasons of Twilight Zone, it doesn't make up for all the pain they caused me. Or all the pain I'm pretty sure they're going to cause me in the future. Fun fact, they're best well known now for making the recent film adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's The Color Out of Space. But since Nicolas Cage is in that, it automatically goes on the unwatchable list. More on that later.
J is for Tor Johnson.
Carl Eric Tor Johansson, better known as Tor Johnson, was many things. He was a wrestler. He was a B-movie icon. And if the neighborhood kids who knew him back in the 50s are to be believed, a really nice man. The type of guy who, while he wasn't very well off financially, would take time out of his day to help you repair your fence. I wouldn't know. He died in 1971. He was born in Sweden in 1903. He came to the United States sometime prior to 1933. Since he was 6'3" and built like a brick shit house, he had no trouble finding work as a professional wrestler. But don't let Tim Burton's Ed Wood movie fool you. Bride of the Monster was far from Tor Johnson's first movie. That would be 1934's Registered Nurse. His first credited role was as himself, aka the Super Swedish Angel, in 1949's Alias the Champ. I'm not saying Bride of the Monster wasn't big for Tor Johnson's acting career, because it was. It was the first time where his role was not an extra or a bit part. His character had a name. You couldn't remove him from the movie and have it make any sense. No, wait a minute, what the fuck am I saying? It's Bride of the Monster. You could cut the monster out of it, and it would be just as comprehensible. But that's not Tor Johnson's fault. The blame lies with Edward Davis Wood Jr. Tor eventually retired from wrestling, but he went on to do a few more movies. Night of the Ghouls and Plan 9 Matter Space with director Ed Wood, but co-starring Bela Lugosi. And he did The Unearthly with Ice Pirates alum John Carradine. But not all of Tor's movies could be winners. He was in Coleman Francis's magnum opus, Beast of Yucca Flats. Sadly, as his health declined, his ability to stand up, let alone act, dwindled. His last role was in the movie Ed, which starred Jack Nicholson and the Monkees. With a cast like that, I have to assume that Tor Johnson was the best thing in it. Fun fact, Tor Johnson went on Celebrity You Bet Your Life. Host Groucho Marx asked to see his scary face. Then he pretended to shoot himself. If you look closely, you can see Tor struggling to remain frightening while fighting the urge to laugh.
K. Boris Karloff.
Boris Karloff is one of the all-time greats of B-movies, going all the way back to 1918. He appeared in a lot of films, mostly in the horror, sci-fi, and crime genres. But most people remember him for the string of Frankenstein movies he did with director James Whale at Universal, or for 1932's The Mummy. While I'm not opposed to doing good movies, in fact, I'm in the middle of a streak of them right now, most of the time the people who pick what I watch don't really have my best interest at heart. So the two Boris Karloff movies I'd watched for Did I Get What I Paid For are 1947's Dick Tracy Meets Gruesome and 1940's The Ape. Fun fact, Boris Karloff was just a stage name. His real name was William Henry Pratt. No one is sure why he changed it. Some say it was so that his name would pop out to casting directors. Others claim it was because there was another William Pratt, a William H. Pratt, and a William Henry Pratt already in the Union.
L is for Laurel, Hardy. Wait a second, that's two separate guys. Laurel and Hardy.
These guys were just brilliant. They did a lot of great short films, both solo and together. We've done one of each of their solo movies. First, Stan Laurel's Mud and Sand. Then Oliver Hardy's Hop to It. In Christmas 2020, we did their short, Big Business. Back in season 0, we did 2 of their feature films. The first being The Flying Deuces, which was a lot of fun. Then we did Utopia, which is as close to bad Laurel and Hardy as you're likely to find. Fun fact, if I kept track of the number of times I reviewed something that people were involved in, I'd have to say Laurel and Hardy were high up there, behind only the Flintstones and maybe Frank Welker. Be here next time when I talk about M through O. If you liked this video, please hit like and subscribe. To help this channel really grow, visit patreon.com/ParityErrorFilms and become a patron today.